Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
Bo Levi's rights have been traded to the Hamilton Tiger Cats. You were aware of that?
Makes a lot of sense.
There
was some talks going on.
Okay, whoa, stop the presses! Bo Levi's rights traded to the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Listen, we're all sitting around here at Ballers. You know this is a Rough Rider stronghold, right, Ricky? They had their year-end party here, for God's sakes. And we're all sitting here saying, yeah, see, Dunk's gone to his phone. You tell me when you're ready again.
Good to go, man.
They're sort of like if the Riders don't get Bo Levi, they're sunk. Tell our viewers what it means that Calgary traded Bo's rights to Hamilton from a football operations perspective.
So they have exclusive negotiation rights with Bo Levi Mitchell until free agency in February. There's been no date set for free agency yet, but it gives the Ticats a chance to talk to Mitchell and ideally come to contract terms. I'd heard that this was a possibility because you look at a bunch of the things that could line up. There's a lot of young playmakers there, a solid offensive line, a stout defense, and really all they were missing this year was quarterback play, not turning the ball over. So there was a lot of talk about this, and actually it's funny, I was going to talk about this on your show, but it's actually happened quicker than I thought, about this potentially happening after Grey Cup and the Tiger Cats really taking a swing in a year where next year Hamilton hosts the Grey Cup.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
The CFL's unfairly maligned for lack of loyalty and player turnover. We saw it with the NFL last year in the quarterback carousel. Now the NHL. When you sit back and watch the games, no matter the league, you get over it pretty quickly, don't you?
You do, but you still don't have that identity with the players. Like, players that bounce around from team to team to team to team to team don't have an identity and don't build that real core fan base.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Here we go. All right, here we go. We're live. We're from Ballers Rec Room. It's the RP
It's the
show.
party now.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, they've shown up already. We're ready to go. Hello, Canada and Canadian sports fans around the world. It's your favorite daytime sports talk show, and we're live on Game Plus TV, WQEE down there in Atlanta, the Big Peach, 99.1 FM. Shout out Rhino Radio. Can we bring in the Moose, if you don't mind? Darren Moose DuPont here. I think we just had the big rolling shot.
Yeah.
The TSN guys have arrived, and the big dude is here. Matt Dunigan, the Hall of Famer. And as I was saying to you before they even got here, I don't want to be here. I like Matt. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't tell him that because his head will be too... But I like him. He's always been good to me. The Canadian Football Hall of Famer, the Valdosta Peach, I believe was his nickname in college, the Valdosta Peach.
Wow.
Valdosta, Georgia. There you go, Rhino Radio checking in from Noonan, Georgia. We're on the air. We're live. So there's a huge Atlanta, Georgia tie-in today, all of Canada. Sorry, I'm a little excited. It's the only Tuesday of Grey Cup week, but we're getting geeked up.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so Matt Dunigan coming up in hour one, Nick Lewis in hour two. Can you hit the quick six show horn, please, Director Jordan, and let's get down to it.
How about that?
I did have messages from all over North America from the football fans, how much they loved Monday's show here. We are at the site of the Canadian Football League Championship. It's Canada's Grey Cup. How about that? And we're live at Ballers Rec Room. The very best party of the week is right here, the Twisted Tea. The first badge rolled off the assembly line today, and you gave it to me. So thank you.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
I'm only going to one event all week. It's this one right here. So we're going to get to the football, but we're going to talk about some other things, Moose. I want you're a smart guy,
Okay.
I think.
Thank you.
That's what you told me. The LA Kings had their 4-game winning streak come to an end in the National Hockey League Monday night after narrowly losing 6-5 in Calgary. Flames coach Daryl Sutter had revamped 3 of his forward lines in light of Jonathan Huberdeau's return after a 3-game absence due to an upper body injury. Huberdeau, Andrew Mangiapane, Brett Ritchie, and Adam Ruzicka all scored for the Flames. And they've won 2 in a row. Elsewhere in the NHL Monday, it was a light night. Islanders over Ottawa 4-2. Carolina beat Chicago 3-0. And St. Louis beat Colorado 3-2. Here's where you come in.
Okay.
I watched part of the game with John Frenzy. the Don Cherry of football, and he said, have you seen the standings? And I'm like, nope. Never even thought about looking at the standings in the NHL. Never even dawned on me.
Yeah.
I looked it up, and the Flames were out of a playoff spot going into the game, and I don't know if that win last night put them in. Who cares? It's November I didn't write it down, 15th? When do you look at the standings in the NHL? I wouldn't even look at them till the new year.
I look a little bit, but only to kind of look at your top 5, bottom 5, right? I mean, I do that a little bit. But yeah, like the standings
when you start
really
caring
they
about
don't matter till you get into the calendar year. Flip the calendar. So January, I start really worrying about the standings.
Tim Manto writes in on the YouTube chat. He says, "My Sens are a mess." What have they lost now? 8 in a row? Wait a minute. I thought the attitude around there was all positive and everything's great. Pump the brakes. And that's why a lot of times I just like to retreat in the evening in my room and goodbye. So anyways, New Year. What is the answer? When do you start paying attention? When do you start caring about the standings? I got to say, in hockey, it's at least the New Year. So I'm not there yet. But that's John Frenzy. That's what puts him in a frenzy.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, Kinsman Telemiracle 47 is live. The 50-50 raffle is live now, starting with a guaranteed jackpot of $100,000, with the winner taking half, of course. You can go to telemiracle5050.com right now to buy your tickets. They can be purchased by anyone over the age of 19 that's physically in the province of Saskatchewan at the time of purchase. This is year 3 of the 50-50 raffle. Over $1 million's been raised by you wonderful viewers from Saskatchewan, so I appreciate you doing that. We're going to get to a lot of CFL talk later on, but point 2 here, NFL. The Eagles' bid for an undefeated season is over. The Washington Commanders turned methodical drives into scores and took advantage of turnover-prone Philadelphia, stunning the Eagles 32-21 and giving them their first loss of the season. Behind Jalen Hurts, the Eagles were 8-0 for the first time in franchise history. We're starting to think they might threaten the 1972 Dolphins, but no. Washington's Taylor Heineke again started for injured quarterback Carson Wentz. Wasn't flashy, but threw for 229 yards, didn't turn the ball over, and the Commanders looked like a football team last night.
Did they
How
ever?
much of it did you watch?
Yeah, quite a bit. They did look like a football team. I'm looking at that football game, and they're up, I think it was 21-14. And what got me and told me how good they were playing, the time of possession. They had the ball for 30 minutes, and Philadelphia had it for just 7 at that point in the football game. It was wild.
Yeah, that was cool. They were showing the graphic. They're like, how's
this possible?
this happening?
Now, Philadelphia was scoring points and not taking any time off the clock, but great football game. Riverboat runs got them rolling. They're 500 now, and Washington's right in the thick of the playoff race.
NFL coverage for Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Hiring now at Bronco. Find everything you need to know about Bronco at broncoplumbing.com and our Facebook and Instagram pages. Point 3, here come the Hawks. DeAndre Hunter scored 24 points, and Trae Young had 21 and 9 assists, leading the Atlanta Hawks to a 121-106 victory over the Greek Freak and the Milwaukee Bucks. That was the marquee game of the night in the NBA. You know we love Atlanta Moose, and we're on the air in WQEE, Metro Atlanta. The Raptors, I like this one from the Wire Service. The Raptors clinched the Pistons by 4 points for a final score, 115-111. Have you ever heard that?
Never.
Term?
That's new.
They clinched them. Lenny? No. And we've heard everything. We thought Toronto won despite shooting 29.6% on three-pointers and committing 17 turnovers that led to 24 points by Detroit. By the way, first a word from our sponsor, Edo Japan. From hand-rolled sushi to bento box meals made with their famous teriyaki sauce, Edo Japan's menu has something for everyone. You did come here for the CFL talk. I understand that. We're on the air across all 10 provinces on Game Plus television and 31 states. And on the radio in Atlanta, too. Bo Levi Mitchell from Katy, Texas, traded Monday from the Hamilton Tiger Cats to the Saskatchewan Roughriders. I might say he might have been the most prized free agent in free agency in the CFL, right? He'd be one of them.
Yeah.
Him and Fajardo. So I had a guy call me this morning, football guy. And he goes, I thought you'd be up already. I said, I just got up. Just getting my bearings here. Time change. He goes, can you believe these Rider fans actually think they're still going to sign Bo Levi? Do they not understand what these trades are about? And I said, there's a lot of things about Rider fans I've learned the last 3 days that they don't want to acknowledge the truth. Has it always been that way, Lenny, or just Yeah, he says it's always been that way. They still think they're going to get Bo.
I know.
That would have been a great poll question. Does he sign with Hamilton? I would vote that yes, that he will. But what are you hearing in the last 24
I thought about
hours?
that, or the other poll question be who would you rather have as the Riders starting quarterback, Cody Fajardo or Dane Evans? Because it feels like you need to move on to option 2 now. These trades that have been made in the Canadian Football League like this prior to free agency, they always worked out that the team that acquired the rights
9
signed
times
them.
out of 10.
Yeah. So Hamilton's not making that trade unless they know that there's interest in Bo going to Hamilton and playing with the Ticats and getting that opportunity to sign him. So I think thinking of Bo coming here, no, he's going to sign in Hamilton. I mean, at this point, you don't agree to that and make that deal unless you're really, really sure that you've got a guy who's willing
Well,
to come to
it's
your market.
fun to be back here in the rectangle for a week for Grey Cup week, but I don't know. Maybe it must have been me that's changed, Lenny, but I'm talking to some really good longtime friends on Monday, and they're like, no, Rod. Doesn't matter. We've gone from 13 wins to 9 wins to 6 wins and missed the playoffs in a year we're hosting the Grey Cup. This is a quick fix. You can turn things around in the CFL real fast, and you get a quarterback. I'm like, what's in your cup? It's not getting better. And you're not going to have a quarterback. They don't want to, you know what I mean? They still think they're going to get Bo, and I don't. What's wrong with?
I know.
I kind of went to bed last night. I'm like, I don't understand what's going on, but they see what they want to see.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't want to go into an offseason with no optimism, right? And if you're moved on from Cody and Mason finds not the answer right away, and you want this team to get into a Grey Cup, then you need to figure out some optimism. So if it doesn't work out on both sides, now your mind's going to start going to the next option that leads you to Grey Cup. So you'll hear names like Dane Evans pop up. Well, he's still an elite quarterback in the Canadian Football League, and he can get us to the Grey Cup. And then the next might be Jeremiah Masoli if Dane Evans ends up in Ottawa or somewhere else. And
Yeah.
the list with the carousel will go on until they get some answers.
Well, there are some realists, believe it or not. There are a few. But by the way, I got a guy right now. Let's call him Kirby. He's got 2 tickets for the Grey Cup game. I did go to the gym this morning, and I worked out, ran into a lot of friends, and they've said the entire stadium's for sale. The tickets are for sale. These are Rider fans that thought their team was going to be in it. Rough Rider fans, their team's not in the championship game, so they're selling their tickets. And I'm going to tell you right now, our viewers, it's your lucky day. Kirby has 2 seats inside. AGT Lounge, heated, warmth, food. I've been in there. It's awesome. Buffet. What would you pay if your team was in a championship like this to be inside?
Oh, man.
He's like, there's got to be some rich Winnipeggers that would like to sit inside to watch this game in the luxury suite.
It's crazy because if it's my team, I want to be amongst the fans and have that great experience and be outside. But, you know, if my team's in the Grey Cup, these are easily
It's 11-11. Can I just point out it's 11-11?
Wow.
Anyways, yeah.
$1,000 a pop to be
800.
inside.
Kirby will let him go for $800 a ticket to sit inside and watch the 109th Grey Cup. Text him now, 306-725-8008, and we just turned into the flea market. 306-725-8008. Barkley's watching. He writes it. He says, good morning from 2 blocks away. Jacuzzi Spas is his place.
What is happening?
He says, I give Mason Fine, Jake Delagala, and Lewis. I don't even know who Lewis is. A fair chance in camp. Save the money and beef up the offensive line. So, yeah, it's all they're talking about is next year country here. By the way, New York Fries is a proud member of the Calgary community. And to give back, they're hosting free public skating opportunities at ice rinks around Calgary. Open to families and the general public in support of Kids Sport Calgary. Visit FamilySkateYYC.com for a full list of names and locations presented by New York Fries. Point 5, Roberto Luongo, Daniel Alfredson, Henrik Sedin, and Daniel Sedin have officially been inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. The Twins and Luongo were elected in their first years of eligibility back in June, while Alfie had waited since 2017. The induction of the Sedins and Alfredson officially bumps the number of Swedish players in the Hall from 4 to now 7. The poll question today, that's why the guys have gone to the one shot here. For Capital Auto Mall, Universal Collision Center, Capital has dealerships all across the Canadian prairies and the state of Florida. What's the most noteworthy or biggest Hall of Fame snub? We came up with these. Paul Henderson, Darren Fleury, Tiger Williams, or other. And everybody's saying it's Paul Henderson, Paul Henderson, Paul Henderson. Scored the goal of 1972 Summit Series. You weren't even thought of.
Right.
You're a dream. I was in my mother's womb in 1972, so I didn't see it. But they're all saying Paul Henderson, he's leading, that he's not in the Hockey Hall of Fame. And I don't know why he's not in there. But do you want to vote on the... I say Theo. I'm voting for Theo, obviously. The guy did play over 1,000 games in the NHL, has over 1,000 points, has a Stanley Cup, has Olympic gold. Paul Henderson didn't have any of those things.
Yeah.
And neither of them. Oh, this is the point I was going to make. Our good friend Sean Simmer, in Ottawa,
Yeah.
pointed out on Twitter today that Alfie's speech was 11 minutes and 11 seconds long and ended at 11:11.
No joke.
So do you have a thought on the...
Not now.
On the Hall of Fames.
I'd vote other. We've been through the others for me.
Yeah? McGillney?
McGillney for me. Alex McGillney. But they're all deserving of being in the Hall of Fame, I think. When you make an impact on the game like Tiger did, and the penalty minutes, all-time penalty minutes leader, which is probably never going to be touched, I think you deserve to get in. I mean, what Theo's done in his resume is so good. We could almost do one of those blind resumes, right? No face. This resume, does it deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? He's in, for sure.
It's not almost.
It's a slam dunk.
And as you've noticed, Theo and I, not only were we good friends, but since I've moved to Calgary, we're really close friends. And it bothers him. And I've said to him, you have a Hall of Fame career, so what does it matter? What does it matter? It's like with me and my career with the Rough Riders. I'm not in any Hall of Fame. I don't care. I got the rings. I got the fans. I got you. Who cares?
I know.
But not everybody looks at it that way. I don't need it.
No, and it doesn't have to be forever. At some point, somebody might make this right. And Paul Henderson, I mean, iconic. So they're all deserving. I wonder if they'll ever get in. And McGillney's one of them.
I'd hate to be Lanny McDonald in that thing because he's the chairman of the Hall of Fame.
That's tough.
And not Lanny wants to get along with everybody.
Yeah.
And if it was up to Lanny would be put him in.
Well, it's not one guy making all the decisions.
Yeah, there's a reason they have those things. Hey, and lastly, the Twisted Tea Party. I assume we'll get you back in here on the air, but we have less than a minute, but here it is. You can come get it. It's not that hard or expensive to get in.
And actually, Ricky dropped new tickets. So yesterday, we dropped a 5-pack of tickets because there's less than 100 available, less than 100 left, and there's some groups that want to come. So 5 tickets for $200, I think, is the cheapest. It gets you a little bit of a deal. But the guest list, I mean, everybody who's coming on our show this week is coming to this party. All of the TV personalities around the Canadian Football League, players, alumni, Hall of Famers. It is insane.
There's going to be more stars than
we can't list everybody, but it is insane the amount of lists. It's 40, 50 names for sure of VIPs and players.
All right.
It's going to be outstanding.
Message us to get tickets. Moose, thanks for all your great work.
Thank you.
Matt Dunigan joins us next live at Ballers Rec Room, the site of the biggest party this week for Twisted Tea. And we're live on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, your favorite podcast platform, and WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to The Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week. or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pride. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might injure your back in a way that causes nerve damage or partial loss of mobility. Take safer steps with WorkSafeSask.ca.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might hit your head and cause a lifelong injury. Take safer steps. Learn more at WorkSafeSask.ca.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to RodPetersonShop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at RodPetersonShop.com.
All right, and we are back live. This is something that the Moose wanted to do. He wanted to do a live walk-up with our guests all week long, so we do. Guys, can you make a little noise here? Got a Hall of Famer? Yeah, come on. Not you, Dunigan. He's the guy. Matt Dunigan sitting here going, woo! And I'm like, no, not you. Everybody. Come on in, Matty. Here he is, the star, the legend. I was telling the guys I really like Matt, but don't tell him it might go to his head. You know that. Good to see you. Good to see you. Pull that mic right. You know how to work one of those?
Yeah.
After all this time?
I'll just leave it at that. Want to put this on?
If you want them, you tell me. If you want them on, that's up to you. If you don't,
good.
Don't worry about it. That thing's sliding on you.
It is.
Another great Cup, Matt Dunigan. Two of them you've won.
Yeah. I was just talking to the boys here, and I was involved in 6, dressed in 5, 1, 2. You know, it's not a sure thing. Just ask Jaguar Davis. You know,
6 in a row,
right?
Yeah,
crazy. But you know, you gotta be in it to win it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And this never gets old, does it?
No, it doesn't. It's a culmination of a whole hell of a lot of effort by everybody across the country, families, coaches, front office, staff. Just sacrifices all around, and it's a celebration as well as a championship. And to me, it's Canada does it right. You know, I've been involved now for 39 years, and it's always different and yet always the same. It's just a celebration of life, of the game itself, and appreciation for all the sacrifices I talked about.
I'll tell you something. So since we've last spoke, we're on Game Plus television all across Canada, 31 states, but we're on the radio WQEE in Atlanta. Did you ever live in Georgia?
Oh, yeah.
You did, right?
Yeah, 7 years in Valdosta.
That's right. Are you the Valdosta Peach?
No, I'm not. That'd be my wife. Yeah.
Okay. So you're no stranger to the area and Flowery Branch, you've been all over those places.
Oh, absolutely. But, you know, we were in South Georgia, and I was there with Mike Kelly, good friend of ours, right?
Well, absolutely.
Yeah. And so we were down there at Valdosta State. And after my 2 years there, my wife and I decided to stay there, raise the kids there, because it's such a great place, so competitive. In fact, it was voted the sports city of the United States shortly there after we left to come to Canada.
Wow.
And it's just incredible place, competition abound, and beautiful area. You can go to Savannah, you can go to Tallahassee, you can go to Jacksonville.
It's like a hub, right?
Yeah, it's just go anywhere. And we always took off to Florida and in the Panhandle, and ultimately we ended up there 3 years ago.
Yeah. Well, so that's. You didn't know I'd be asking you these questions.
No,
I want you to make yourself at home and get comfortable. This isn't going to be the usual. By the way, we're both Bet Regal ambassadors, so thanks for that.
That's right, brother. Yeah, I thought Allie would be in here.
He's
right?
coming.
Yeah,
He's
Mike
coming.
Myrtle
He'll be here
boys.
Friday night for the big party that you'll be at. Now, selfishly, here's my question, and then I'll turn it over to the viewers and their questions. But I can't decide whether I like you better on the panel or in the booth, but overall, I think I've told you this in the booth. I really like you doing color.
Okay.
But what do you like better?
Yeah, I think so much fun, so much leeway in the panel, in the studio. We get to kind of have a say so in what happens, and it's such a great position to have. But there's nothing like going to the ballpark and talking to the folks prior to the game, fans. And then you get on the field and you talk to players and coaches, kind of recharge. And hell, I have to introduce myself to a lot of the kids that are playing now because, hey, did you play ball? I say, hey, a little bit, because they have no idea. But it's important, I think, to keep plugged in and the scripts write themselves, and they're there just to add to it as best you can. And sometimes less is more. I'm not sure if I've ever figured that out, Rod, but I
think it's going great.
I like being at the park. I get maybe 10, 12 opportunities a year, and I started in '99 doing that. My first game was with Rod Smith. We called it in Montreal, and it was Henry Burris's first start in the Canadian Football League.
Wow.
And we saw him go to work and knew right then and there that kid had it what it took, and he showed that to us for a boatload of years and then some, and justifiably in the Hall of Fame at the end of his career. But that's where mine started, in the booth.
Yeah, I should tell to all our U.S. viewers, he's one of you, American, right? But grew up in Dallas. I've seen your speeches as well. Played at Louisiana Tech.
Yeah.
And into the CFL, Edmonton, BC, Toronto, Winnipeg, Birmingham, Hamilton, two-time Grey Cup champion, multiple All-Star, and into the Hall of Fame in 2006. That is a Hall of Famer. If you were to look it up in the dictionary, it's Matt Dunigan. And I'll just say this, though, about your color, and then we'll move on to the actual game. You have invented your own style, right?
I have?
Yeah, I think you have. And when I watch the games, it's like watching the old Batman. Bam! Pow! You know what I mean?
Okay.
Well, nobody does that.
I watched a lot of Batman growing up.
That was my favorite, Adam West, man. Big Batman guy.
Man, the guy was just kind of slinking all over the cities, just helping people out.
That's fighting
Nothing wrong with
crime.
that.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
it.
But nobody else does that when you watch a lot of football. That's your thing.
I don't know. Rod, I often say to people, I've been doing this 23 years now, and I still don't know what I'm doing.
Neither do we.
Right?
We say it all the time.
But you do it with the passion, enthusiasm, and love, and you come prepared. And to me, it's going to work out. And I think that's what any job should be about, is you do it with passion. It's not now. It doesn't become a job. It's just something you love to do. And this has been that case for 23 years now.
Now, okay, so Milt Stegall said it was a shame that he had to wear a mask to cover his face, and I'm looking at and I'm looking
so beautiful,
right, but I'm looking at your beard. You were my mom's favorite. You and Bobby Hall.
Bobby,
yeah, you're probably my mom's hall pass.
Nice.
Why are you covering that face up with this?
Yes,
what's
my
the
wife
deal?
asks me all the time. Yeah, my boys. They're not boys, man. My men. They asked me to grow one, and they both have them. And so I said, yeah, sure. And it's just something to do, something to play with. Need to change.
You're keeping it though, obviously.
Right now, for sure. Week's time, I'm headed back south. You never know. It might come off, but yeah, it's just more than anything, Rod. It's just challenged by the boys, my men, and I accepted it and seen it through.
I think it's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. But in the winter, it's gonna get probably has already. Get some icicles hanging in it.
I'm not sure.
We'll find out.
You're right. Over the next 6 days.
Now, the other thing, I've always respected you a long time, but these Grey Cup weeks, I knew you'd had one late night and the next morning you're in a school speaking. I'm like, how do you keep up the pace? You're doing community appearances, you're doing the parties, you're doing this.
Yeah, I think you pick your spots. I think early on, Rod, it was You just had to your pedal down and buried, and you're going as fast as you can, and that's not the case anymore. I was telling Rick and Kelly, the owners of this establishment here, and I said, we go kind of hard earlier in the week, when nobody's kind of here. We kind of like amongst ourselves, we'll hang out and maybe have a few pops. But other than that, we start tapering down towards the end of the week when everything else is cranking up. We're stepping back because
you have to.
Well, you do. You want to be bang on for Saturday and certainly Grey Cup Sunday.
Can you answer a question, yes or no, from one of our viewers?
Yeah.
Corey in Tallahassee, Florida says, did Mr. Dunigan ever go to a Valdosta Lowndes high school game? How do you say it? Lowndes?
I didn't miss them when I was there for 7 years.
Why is this such a big deal?
Why?
Yeah.
It's because those are the two dominant football programs, and they've got some incredible history, just being perennial champions. And you look it up, Valdosta and Lowndes High School, and you will know what I'm talking about. So you don't want to miss that. When they go at it, it's two of the best every year going at it in state championships and playoffs. And it's a small city. Valdosta is, and so it's amazing how they continually find athletes and put together championship caliber football teams, and the excellence and the standard that they adhere to year in, year out. It's quite remarkable. And when you're down there, it's in your face, and you become engaged. And that's one of my favorite things to do anyways, is watching high school football, and just walking up on it and getting a sense of it and what it means to the community and Valdosta and the Lowndes County. It means everything.
I haven't told you, but I'm living in Boca Raton in the winter. I'm going there this weekend for the winter, and the high school, Matt DeBuck's the head coach of Cardinal Gibbons, the former Bomber and Argo receiver.
Okay.
Same thing, man. They pack the place, and Canadians do not understand.
Yeah.
Now, back to the Americans. If I can get serious for a minute, we got 4 minutes here. Just you were the poster boy in the 90s for concussions. And before I even knew you, we were watching the games going, get him out of there. You're wobbling off the field. You're watching Tua now. What do you think?
It's more of the same.
Yeah.
It's, how do I say this? The protocols that were so-called put in place need to be followed. And there needs to be some really powerful messages, if they're not, sent to people. It's not firing doctors, and being the fall guy for this, that, and the other. It's like, I understand it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, winning football games in the National Football League, but we're talking about lives, and it's not at the expense of those players. And those protocols are put in place to be followed, not to be tweaked or, maneuvered or manipulated. It's follow them. And I think when concussions started becoming a thing and people started being educated, and this I'm talking about in the early 90s to mid-90s, the pendulum swung too far, I think, on the side of error. And it was a little ridiculous. People are trying to bubble wrap their kids and not subject themselves to sport in general, let alone collision sport like football. And then I think it swung back the other way.
Always does.
And I think we're seeing it kind of settle back into where it needs to be. And I think Tua was one of those, okay, people, we got to wake up and remember that, we need to dial this in just a bit more so we get it right.
Very well said. Very well said. From Craig Campbell, he's watching from the Hockey Hall of Fame. He says, wonderful player, broadcaster, and ambassador for our game. 91 Grey Cup performances, legendary, says Craig Campbell. Arlen Bruce is watching.
Arlen Bruce,
AB3.
One of the best athletes ever.
He says Matt Dunigan should be a head coach and GM of the CFL. Yeah. I'll say this before we break, and I'm 6 months in Calgary, 6 months in Boca Raton.
Good for you.
Yeah, it's the best.
Seriously.
Your era comes up there all the time in Calgary, and they say if Matty would have just had a little more time. And they said, you led by example. They're like, how can you not be in the weight room and your coach is in there first thing in the morning and the last to leave?
Yeah, Rod, it was Wally had left in 2002, and then Jim was released after 2003. I was hired. At that point, I was hired to be fired. And anybody that came with me was looking for an opportunity to get back in. Yeah, we were set up to fail because they didn't want they wanted local ownership. They didn't want Michael Federick involved anymore. But that should, woulda, couldas. And, I look back on it and oftentimes think, what could have been. But at the end of the day, you move on and do it the best you can. And TSN and broadcasting has been pretty special. It's given me a lot of consistency in my life that I wouldn't have had in football. Yeah. And so, hey, who knows, right? It's good times, and you try to do the best you can.
And everything happens for a reason.
That's right, Rod.
We will be right back to Ballers Rec Room after this. The Hall of Famer Matt Dunigan is with us. It's Grey Cup 109 week, brought to you by Bet Regal here on Game Plus TV, your favorite podcast platform, and WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Casino fancy.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might fracture your wrist, resulting in a lifetime of painful arthritis. Take safer steps with WorkSafeSask.ca.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina. And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM-certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big, and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might injure your back, resulting in partial loss of mobility. Take safer steps. Find out more at WorkSafeSask.ca.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
All right. Hey, we're back live. We got a sports update here before more with Matt Dunigan from the Western Hockey League. They announced that Prince George Cougars forward Riley Height has been named WHL Player of the Week. Saskatoon product had 3 points per game over the past 7 days, finishing that with 3 goals and 6 assists as the Cougars retained a 1-point advantage over Kamloops. The goalie of the week is Lethbridge netminder Harrison Menahan. The South Surrey BC product turned aside a total of 52 shots over 2 starts last week with a 1.00 goals against average. And what do we got? On the ice, the Toronto Maple Leafs visit Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight. Struggling Penguins have just 2 wins in their last 10 games. Also tonight, the Vancouver Canucks look to halt a 3-game losing skid in Buffalo. This sports update is proudly brought to you by Edo Japan. Hand-rolled sushi to bento box meals made with their famous teriyaki sauce. Edo Japan's menu has something for everyone. The Hall of Famer, Matt Dunigan, is with us. And boy, did Grey Cup week get kicked off with a bang on Monday. You're smiling already. Bo Levi is a Hamilton Tiger cat.
Well, potentially. They traded for his rights. And which means now they own his rights, and they're going to try to pound something out before he becomes a free agent. And so it looks like it's headed that direction. You know, our insiders at TSN tell us that it's imminent. So
a signing.
Yeah. So I look at it because I listened to Bo, and I said this on a Jay Onright show last night as well. Bo has said that he wants to go somewhere where they got a chance to win. And it's like, no kidding. You know, it's like you got to look at the OC. You got to look at personnel. You know, can they keep you clean? You got receivers to throw to. You know, you got a staff and an OC that you can communicate with. All these things go into factoring in whether or not he ponies up with Ticats at the end of the day or he become a free agent afterwards. But Ticats have just assured themselves they have an opportunity to negotiate with him first out of everybody. So until that opportunities expires or gets sorted out, he's a Ticat. And you look at the lineup there, they got an offensive line. They got an offensive line that can protect him. And I think they're a damn good offensive line that went through a lot of changes this year. And to me, that's huge for Bo and sleeping easy at night and knowing that, hey, I'm going somewhere where I'm going to be protected at my age. That's a big thing. You know, mobility's not there like it used to be. Not that it ever was in his case, but in my opinion, I think he's covered there. Receiving core, they got a kid, Anthony Johnson, a new kid from Buffalo. Second-year players, played 6 games with him. Really shown, and I was a spark for them, a big kid that can move and can shake, kind of remind me of Arlen Bruce.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and then you've got Stephen Dunbar and you've got Tim White. 2 of the best in the league. So they got that covered. They got receivers there. I think they can add to that. But the running game with a big kick and push towards the end with West Downhill's playing, he's a big back that can freaking get it done. And so you look at just offensively with Tommy Condell, Orlando Steinhauer, his approach, I think it's a good fit for Bo Levi Mitchell.
Yeah, why wouldn't he? He wants to go where he'll be successful. Right?
Yeah.
Tons and tons of questions have come in from the viewers, Matt, and I know you love those. I don't even know where to start.
Throw it out there.
Oleg in Winnipeg wants to know, reflecting back, do you regret playing quarterback with a linebacker's mentality?
No, not at all. That was my approach. That's my game. That's the way I knew to play. I didn't know any other way. You know, it's like kill the guy with the ball in the backyard, right? It's just you throw him off you and you try to stay up as long as you possibly can, and that's what I did, and I lasted 14 years as a pro.
Yeah.
Banged up a lot, but don't regret it one bit.
Ted in Red Deer says, hey, Matt, what was it like in the day with you and another all-time great, Damon Allen, on the same team as young quarterbacks?
Yeah, just talking to some of the boys here at Ballers here, Rec Room, and I can tell you that it just wasn't Damon. It was Tracy Ham, too. And so we had 3 Hall of Famers on the same team at one time in Edmonton, and that was pretty crazy. Damon and we had a great relationship working together. I think very competitive against one another once we went our own separate ways. And it was fantastic to compete against him. Just that era alone in the Canadian Football League, I think, was just loaded with talent and quarterbacks that played at high level week in, week out. So your P had to be hot, you know, just to, you know, compete with the guy and the other guy under center. So DA and I continued to share a relationship and friendship with one another. I think it's gotten closer because I think, and I told Damon this years ago, I said, buddy, I said, I think it took me a while just to get rid of my competitive instincts with you. But at the end of the day, if somebody asked me if I was going to choose one quarterback to have in a big game, winner take all, you're my guy. And I can't tell you and give you a bigger compliment than that, because he was money in Grey Cups and championship games. And I tip of the cap goes to my colleague and teammate now at Bet Regal, right? So it's DA and I are partners again. And
Everything
so,
happens for a reason.
That's
There's
right,
a theme
Rod.
here.
Yeah.
But listen, you said money. Somebody said to me, we need a deal, the marquee player like the 90s, where one player can get $1 million. And I'm like, why do we need that? There's football people that have said that. I know what happened to you, so I don't know that we should do that. But do you think back in the 90s, each team could have one guy making $1 million?
Yeah.
And everybody had one, but us.
Well, whatever it was.
Whatever it was, a high-priced guy.
Well, there was ways around it, and but I'm not sure your reference to or inference to what happened to me.
Birmingham.
Oh,
No.
Birmingham. Yeah, well, Birmingham was free agent, right? And you can sign for whatever you can get. And so I signed a 3-year deal down there. And it was a pretty solid deal. Took me away from a football team that had all the parts. And, I often tell people that's my biggest regret. But they made me an offer I couldn't refuse. And I cherish the opportunity of being an ambassador for the Canadian Football League down in the States. I've been played up here for 12 years, and now I get to go down there and tell people and show them how the game's played. And we had Jack Pardee, John Jenkins, Ronnie Van Clark, our offensive line coach, and we had a group that we went 10-8 that year. I broke this hand in a preseason game. I missed the first 2 regular season games, and then I broke it in week 16. I missed the last 2. We threw for almost 5,000 yards and 36 touchdown passes in 14 games. And we had a football team that was on the cusp of being a legitimate contender for the Grey Cup. And, things went awry because, my hand was in shambles. But
That hand is not a fist, that's a ball.
Yeah. It's been pieced together twice, pinned together. But it was a fun opportunity. And I don't regret it at all, Rod. Because, it's like you don't live your life through your rearview mirrr. You drive it out
Through
the
the
front
windshield.
windshield.
Yeah.
And that's where I was going. And this is going to be a great opportunity to get down south, family, friends, and introduce this game to the folks there. It's just unfortunate what happened with the league and how it folded up so quickly.
Yeah, well, we have a minute and a half here, and then we'll do one more segment with you, if that's okay.
No problem. I'll stay here all day, man.
I want to see, I thought we were going to expand and double during the break here through COVID. I'm like, we come back, let's partner with the XFL and have 9 American teams, and let's go. Because it was so great in the 90s. Yeah. But so many teams don't want that. Why would we not want that?
You start getting into questions and scenarios and situations and conversations that's above my pay grade.
What do you want?
Yeah. I like the CFL. I always thought that we should expand here in Canada. I think that there's room for it. I'd love a team in Saskatoon. Much like Edmonton, Calgary, and Saskatoon, Regina. I love a team there. Obviously we've been trying to get one on the West Coast for decades, or East Coast, for decades, and I think that's doable. I don't like the plan that they have now, but I say we cut our own grass and mow our own grass before we start cutting somebody else's. And I don't want to sell ourselves or sell our soul for $1. I think there's ways. I think what Randy Ambrosie, our commissioner, is doing now with our international team and our look and our push towards CFL 2.0, and I think it's going to garnish revenue for us and reap its rewards for the Canadian Football League. And another year or two, I think it's going to start snowballing. I think we're going to be able to monetize our presence in the United States and all over the world because of it. And I think we just stay right here and blow it up and continue to honor our history and build for the future. And I think that's what Randy has been doing quietly behind the scenes through a very tough time of COVID. And I believe at the end of the day, we should just look after our own right now and embrace who we are.
You're starting to sell me. Stop. Wait, we'll be right back.
You got me. I just give you my opinion, man.
I know. We'll be right back. Well, one more segment with Matt Dunigan and your questions. They've been great. We are live on Game Plus Television, obviously YouTube Live, your favorite podcast platform, and on the radio on the Big Peach, 99.1 FM WQEE.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might injure your knee, leading to joint damage or even a permanent disability. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
Your family needs a break. Delta Hotels Saskatoon welcomes you to our newly renovated hotel and water park. You deserve a vacation close to home. Enjoy world-class hospitality and upscale surroundings. Rediscover Saskatoon. You can enjoy time away from home right in your own city. The kids will love the water slide. Delta Hotels Saskatoon downtown. All the essentials and then some.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
I think it's if it's a secret.
On the continent, yeah.
Yeah, certainly in North America.
Here we go. Thank you, Clark. I appreciate it. One last time. We're just sitting here talking about how great Calgary is. Clark is in my ear going, mics are hot, mics are hot. I'm like, well, while we're saying this, it's awesome. Now, you love Calgary. I love Calgary.
Yeah, we lived out in Elbow Valley. Kind of hard not to love that area. And, yeah, it was just incredible. We stayed there for a couple years after I got shit canned. And, you know, it was like just to get the kids to a point where I could move them once again. And they weren't happy. We weren't happy leaving the area, but it always seemed like a square peg in a round hole for me. And it never felt like it was meant to be. I think we talked about it earlier, but love the city of Calgary, and it's just, and the franchise is still
Cadillac.
I think, one of the ones that people are trying to certainly follow and mimic across the league.
Well, I'll tell you that you are very highly thought of there from that time.
Nice.
So I thought it never hurts to hear that, right?
Well, it wasn't getting a lot of that in 04.
I get it. Well, I haven't asked you about the game. I got to ask you about the game.
Mm-hmm.
Argos Bombers. Bet Regal has Winnipeg favored by 4.5.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah. Well, I like that. I do. You can't argue it based on the past. Based on what they've done, they're 16-3. I said this the other day. I look at the Toronto Argonaut lineup on paper, and I've done it all year long. Every production meeting, every week, I would say to Troy White or Jamie Riddell, our producers, I look at it and I go, damn, this is a great freaking team. It's a great team. Well, wait a minute. It's a loose term because you're not a team until you figure it out and everybody figures out their roles and how to produce and make everything work from week to week within those roles. And they're trying to become a team. And, we saw the infighting early in the season with Speedy B and offensive linemen. It was like turmoil. And we saw some guys, loose cannons on the field and taking unsportsmanlike conduct penalties and just not disciplined enough. And I think Ryan Dinwiddie is justifiably up for the Coach of the Year award because of the way he's handled that and got this team to the point now where they're 12-7. And they're in the Grey Cup, and they got a chance to go after what Winnipeg has established for 2.5, 3 years now. And through Mike O'Shea and the culture that he's built, and the mentality of win the day, go 1-0 this week, keep it incremental. All those things to me is what Toronto's going after. They are continuing to evolve into a team, and Winnipeg continues to be a team that's defending the top. And to me, it's just kind of one of those, everybody's taking the best shots at you. Winnipeg's been able to fend them off because of their approach. I think Toronto has gotten themselves to a point of a football team where they can go in there and battle them toe-to-toe. 4.5 points, I think, is a good spread for Winnipeg. I like Winnipeg to defend. Yeah. That doesn't take anything away from what Toronto's accomplished this year and the talent that they have, because they are loaded with talent.
So, as a Bomber alum, does that affect who you're picking? It sounds like you're picking the Bombers to win.
Well, until you beat the champs, you are the champs.
Fair enough.
That mentality. And I don't give a crap, right? I really don't.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Because I went to 2 cups with, 3 cups, 2 cups with the Bombers and 1 with Toronto. Won it with Toronto, and we missed out twice in 92 and 93 with the Bombers. But I really don't care. I just want to see a good game. And I think we're going to get that for sure.
I think we only got about a minute. You know what that means in TV terms. We got to bring up our mutual friend, Mike Kelly.
Okay.
You guys are like brothers, basically, right?
Yeah, we're kindred souls.
He's probably watching right now.
Yeah, well, I hope so. Yeah, he's probably, I don't know what to tell you what he's doing, but what I know he's doing. But, yeah, he's busting his tail. He's set up a nice life for himself. Mike, tell Hilda I said hello and give her a big hug for me. That's Mike's mom. They dodged a bullet a couple weeks ago.
Hurricane we went through
Nicole,
there. Yeah.
And then Ian a couple months before that. So, yeah, big friend of mine, one of the best I've ever had in my life. He and I have spent many great days together and plan to do some more.
Yeah, appreciate both you guys. And you have a great week.
Thanks, Rob.
And enjoy the game.
Appreciate it, brother.
All right, the great Matt Dunigan joining us down here at Ballers Rec Room, the site of the biggest party. You can see Matt here Friday night, and all of us go to eventbrite.com. Look up great. John Chick confirmed last night. Now it's a party with J-Bone coming in from Jacksonville. Nick Lewis next hour and more with the CFL greats on Game Plus TV and WQEE. Stick around after this break.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might injure your back in a way that causes nerve damage or partial loss of mobility. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV.
The CFL's unfairly maligned for lack of loyalty and player turnover. We saw it with the NFL last year in the quarterback carousel. Now the NHL. When you sit back and watch the games, no matter the league, you get over it pretty quickly, don't you?
You do, but you still don't have that identity with the players. Like, players that bounce around from team to team to team to team to team don't have an identity and don't build that real core fan base.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
All right, here we go. It's hour 2 of the RP Show, everybody. Coming in hot here from Grey Cup week with the 109th CFL Championship. The Grey Cup is here in Canada's Queen City, and we had a Hall of Famer last hour in Matt Dunigan from the TSN crew, the Valdosta Peach. And now we got another Hall of Famer, the Peach of Dallas. Hey, give it up, everybody. The live audience here for the Hall of Famer, the one and only Nick Lewis. There he is, man. He is the latest addition to the Canadian Football Hall of Fame, and he's joining us here at Ballers. And, man, I don't know if I had to unlock the doors for you, man. Nick, I appreciate you coming down. Were you beating on the doors out front? Was it open?
Yeah, a little bit. Did you hear me?
No, I didn't, but I know it's cold outside because but it's warming up. The weather's looking good. We're working our way towards Sunday's CFL Championship game. Toronto Argonauts against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And we have mixed in some NFL and NHL talk today for those of you watching and enjoying it on Game Plus TV, your favorite podcast platform, and WQEE Radio down there in Atlanta. I will get to all the comments and so forth. But, Nick, welcome. How are you?
I appreciate it, brother. I'm good. Just got done talking to some kids at St. Bernadette, and it was good. You know, starts off a great week of Grey Cup week. I was just talking over there about first one in Regina that I've ever been to. So I'm excited.
We've had them in 1995, 2003, 2013, and now this. Now you got the blazer on. I love it. Hold that up to the camera. That's the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. How often do you bust that baby?
How about that?
I think this is the second time I've worn it. So
is that right?
Yeah.
Just special occasions.
Yeah, I would say special occasions just to wear it. But sometimes you don't want to just wear it and and just pull it out. But when I go down to Arizona this year for the Super Bowl, I'm going to wear it again. So
we'll see you down there.
You might as well.
We will absolutely see you down there. I'm just calling up Nick's Wikipedia. He's got a Hall of Fame career from Mineral Wells, Texas.
Well, I was born there because Jacksboro, my hometown, didn't have a. They didn't. Well, they had a hospital. They didn't deliver babies.
Okay.
So I had to go 30 minutes up the road to get what was born, and then they ask you the question. It's like, where are you born? I was born in Mineral Wells.
What's your birth certificate say?
Mineral Wells.
Yeah, exactly.
Palapino. But I lived in Jacksboro my whole life. I never lived in Mineral Wells. So it's kind of a play on words, I guess.
Well, our U.S. viewers will know, especially those in Texas, will know exactly what he's talking about. Played at Southern Arkansas and into the CFL Hall of Fame career with the Calgary Stampeders, 11 seasons, and the Montreal Alouettes, 4 seasons, and went into the Hall of Fame just in 2021. I don't think you'll ever get used to that. CFL Rookie of the Year, by the way, as well in 2004. Yeah. So what are you expecting from the week now that you can come as a Hall of Famer? You don't got to prep as a player,
Should be good. Just seeing the guys. I know G-Roy's coming in town. Damon Allen. I'm gonna catch up with Gino Lewis. I always tell him, like, you're the only Lewis receiver left. I've passed you the torch, and it's great to see what he's been able to do with his career, to be the MOP nominee out of the East, and just to see him continue to prosper and do well. I don't think neither one of us is very fast, but we both had great hands, so always a supporter of him. But just looking forward to catching up with a lot of the guys that either played against, played with, or, we just haven't seen each other in a while.
Good. Sounds like you're looking for a great time.
100%.
Yeah. From our viewers, Elam Wilson writes in. He says, thanks for another great show, Rod. Absolutely love it. It ain't me. I got to say this. Like the song Selena Gomez sings, it ain't me. It's the guys at Ballers. It's Darren. It's the crew from IKS. Rolf's down here. I've got an on-site engineer. Can you come to Florida with me next week, Rolf? I'm getting spoiled, man. Clark's booking the guests, so it's not me. It's a complete team effort, but we're having a blast. And we have a lot to get into. How long do I have you here for?
As long as you want me.
Okay, I appreciate it. You got 40 minutes in you or something like that?
I'm here.
Okay, I appreciate it. So, obviously, we're going to get to the Toronto-Winnipeg thing. That's who's playing in the championship on Sunday. We'll get to your prediction. But for the players, what is it like? You've played in these things. You've won them. Have you lost them? I can't remember.
I lost one in Toronto, 2012. One 2014 in Vancouver. So played Montreal in 2008. Played Toronto in 2012, and then Hamilton in Vancouver, BC.
On the last play.
Yeah.
So what's the secret? What would you tell the players?
One of the interesting things, though, Rod, I've never played outdoors in a Grey Cup.
Isn't that interesting?
Indoors, Montreal at the Olympic Stadium. Indoors in Toronto, and indoors.
How about that?
Vancouver. So it's an interesting play. But I've played in a lot of cold Western finals. But it's just about being able to adapt. The game goes off rather quickly, right? You understand that there's so much on the line. The game is heightened. Like when you come out for practice, you're seeing media from every team, not just your local media. So you start to see that, like, man, that's a big change. Going out into the stadium early and all the fans are packed in there. They got their different jerseys, the bells, everything. It's just a much different atmosphere for the game. But really it's about accepting the process, right? You're so anxious during the day to get there. I want to get to the game. I want to win. I want to become a champion. I want to get it done again. But you really have to take a step back, take a deep breath, and just say, I'm going to enjoy this whole process from the time I wake up to the time I go for breakfast to going through my routine to getting to the stadium.
Every day.
Every day, right? You just want to enjoy the process.
Well, you've been a young player. You've been an old player. And I remember for us, 2007 in Toronto, Grey Cup on the Tuesday. We're there, Weston Bayshore, Harbor Castle, and with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. We'd never been in a Grey Cup. What do we win? One guy, Eddie Davis, was the only guy that knew what it was like. And a bunch of Bomber players came down to our hotel on the Tuesday night and wanted to go party with our guys.
100%.
And our guys were like, we're here to play football. And some guys will tell you that on the Tuesday they knew that they won.
Tuesday night, I'm going to tell you, Montreal 28.
So you were one of the guys that gave it.
2008, my per diem.
Gone.
The 5-6 day per diem. We didn't have curfew Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday night, we had a 12 o'clock curfew. Saturday, we had 11 o'clock curfew. Right? So we were in Montreal. Me and Joffrey were enjoying Montreal. We were out in the streets on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We had a great time. We felt like we were going to do everything like we did in Calgary. So during the week in Calgary, if we went out, we went out. But we were up for practice. We did all of our obligations. We treated it like a normal week. But at the same time, I think we were really counted out at that Grey Cup. If you look, Montreal had Anthony Calvillo. They had Brian Bratton, Ben Cahoon, Jamel Richardson, S.J. Green, Kerry Watkins.
Mark Trestman as head coach.
John Bowman and Anwar Stewart and so many Chip Cox. You have so many legends on that team. And here we were. Hank had always underperformed. Me, Cope, and Rambo, and you got Joffrey. And now you look back and say, okay, you had Charleston Hughes and some of these guys, Brandon Smiths and Brandon Browners. And you look at it like we were a young team becoming that Montreal team, but they had been there, right? They had been in 5 Grey Cups in that era, right? So it's like, are we too early to get there, or are we ready to overtake them, right? And it was an interesting play. But it turned out well.
Yeah, absolutely. And close to 70,000 on hand at Olympic Stadium.
That's
it's Lee Genier is asking me to say hey to you, say hey to Matt. A lot of those stamps, people will say the 08 Grey Cup because you guys won a lot. But they said 08 was the best.
Yes.
Because you were the villains? You were like the black hat wearing Cowboys or what?
100%. I mean, we went in. We felt disrespected. Some of the Montreal players gave us flyers for after-game parties and stuff, and we felt disrespected with that. But if you remember, Sandro lost the Special Teams Player of the Year. Hank lost to Anthony Calvillo.
I thought you guys made far too much about that, but that's just
but guys take that stuff personal. I mean, whether it's in your contract where you get a bonus or whatever the case is, guys are going to take it personal, and we just really felt like it was us against the world, and we had them right where we wanted them.
The infamous Huff speech that they still talk about that too?
100%.
And Calgary, yeah, for sure. Well, it's not sitting real well with them in Calgary that they're not in the Grey Cup, nor is it here in Saskatchewan. I mean, you're living here. You spent a big chunk of your life there. Your take on the Stamps and the Riders not getting here. What do you think?
I think it's very interesting. When I go to the Stamps, just looking at the change of the way that they played throughout the year, changing at quarterback, very interesting. I think Bo's better than Mayer, but I think the way that they wanted to play football this year fit Mayer better than Bo, right? When you look at the whole aspects of how they were playing defense early, they get better and better every week. But early they were giving up big plays, and you had to control the ball on offense. And I think one of the big tides was when they lost to BC. They were up 40-21, couple 2-and-outs in the second half, and then BC scores on the game-winning drive to win that game. And I think that's when you really start to see a shift of more ball control offense, and Mayer provided that. And so very interesting there. And, I actually text Bo. I was like, 2011, when Hank got benched for Drew, Hank played the second half in Edmonton in that playoff game. I said, prepare because you can very well be in that game. And, he did a great job. And seeing what he did on the field, I've always been proud of how he prepares and how he handled himself through this whole situation.
Plenty of time left in this segment. Nick Lewis, good enough to stick with us through another after this, but I can tell you what, there's enough salt in the Rider Nation to salt all these icy roads that Winnipeg's coming in here and the Riders aren't in the game.
Spicy.
All the tickets that they bought are for sale on Ticketmaster. Do you know what I mean? And which, by the way, I've got emails from Bomber fans. I should read this right now because I was saying yesterday, Winnipeg, you've won enough now that you need to start acting like you've been here before. You know what I mean? Like the fans are rubbing it in people's faces and stuff, and I was okay with that for a couple of years, but now you're the Bomber. Be above that. And some guy wrote me, goes, "Hi, Rod. Recently a new viewer of yours on Game Plus TV. As a longtime Bomber fan, I apologize for those that seem to be rubbing the team's success in people's faces. After all those years of suffering, it's still hard to believe we're going for a third Grey Cup. It's like having too much to drink, some people do, and say stupid things. He says, behave yourself, Bomber fans. This is from David in Winnipeg watching on Game Plus TV. So I appreciate I just have so much respect for the Bombers now. It's like, you don't need to rub it in people's faces anymore.
No, they're the only Western team I never played in the playoffs.
Are you serious?
Never played the Bombers.
Man, that's wild. You're a walking trivia question.
Yeah, never played the Bombers in the playoffs. So it always come down to Edmonton or SAS, really. And then usually it was BC in the Western Final or something. It was one of those things where.
How long you been living here?
In Regina, 5 years, I believe.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm excited to see you. And I think it's hilarious that in Calgary, everybody refers to here as Sask, but you've been living here long enough, nobody calls it Sask here. You know
I mean,
if you've noticed. I don't know if you've noticed or not.
Well, when you're from the outside, you never go anywhere else but Regina. So it's like, where are you going? Sask. Like, everybody knows you're going to Sask, you're going to Regina.
For football, yeah. So the fact, again, that the Riders aren't in it, not sitting well.
Yeah, that's hard. And one of the biggest things is, I guess you'll only be able to gloat if they lose this game, right? So you can be right there front and center if they were not to win this game. And we'll see what they say about Caleros.
I talked to a guy today that said the Riders were loaded with talent, and it's an abomination of a failed by their coaching staff to have not got here. And I'm like, I don't think they were that good talent-wise. What do you think?
I always had them as the fourth best team. I think by the end of the year, I had them as the fifth best team. I thought Toronto was clearly the fourth best team in the league. Just looking at the level of talent they had, they played well down the stretch. Toronto is a very tough team. Like, defensively, they're going to get after the quarterback. They have a good pass rush, and Peters is playing great on the edge, and Chris Edwards is making plays, right? Whether it's fumble returns or interceptions. Reminds me a lot of Chip Cox early in his career, just always around the ball and making plays. So I think they're a lot tougher team than people give them credit for.
So you think who's going to win on Sunday in the 109th Grey Cup?
Can we get a real analysis?
You want to wait?
Can we get a real analysis on Caleros first? Like,
he says he's fine.
I mean, we can all say a lot of things, but I mean, I know he's going to work this week to be the best he can for the game, and but it's going to be cold. All it takes is one person to land on him or him to try to run one time. Something can happen. So until we know how serious that is, I think it's really hard to say. But I tell you what, Toronto's a hungry team, and I've went in there. In 2012, we went into Toronto, and we thought we were clearly better than them, and they just showed up that day and played a great game.
We got the Hall of Famer Nick Lewis with us for one more extended segment. So what we're going to do, note to our operators in both Toronto and Atlanta, we're going to take a commercial now and come back with more with Nick and some of your questions, if you will. We got a sports update coming up. The Moose will rejoin us, and we'll talk some NHL, NFL, and all the rest, although Nick's not averse to talking those two. We'll be right back to Baller's Rec Room in a moment. You're watching on Game Plus Television, listening on your favorite podcast platform, and also on WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. Done deal. Sold. Hell yes. Hoorah. Hot damn. I like it.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Spicy.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of fun. Big time, big time, big time.
Awesome. Big time. Big time. Big time. Let's go. Big time.
I gotta hit the beat.
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Sold! You might not be injured if you slip and fall. Or you might hit your head and cause a lifelong injury. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might injure your back, resulting in partial loss of mobility. Take safer steps. Find out more at WorksafeSask.ca.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
All right, that is the scene of the crime just outside Mosaic Stadium where the 109th Grey Cup will be played this Sunday, airing on TSN, and I'm pretty sure ESPN2. It always is. That's what I've been watching it on the past couple of years, and that will include this Sunday. 902-518-3033 is the number to here in the studio. We are at Ballers Rec Room, the site of the biggest party of the week this Friday night, presented by Twisted Tea. Nick, you're coming, right? Yeah, you're bringing everybody.
Oh, yeah.
You're bringing the gang.
Oh, yeah, it should be a lot of us in town. You know, a lot of guys coming back, so we'll be ready for it.
Calgary viewers chiming in. Dougal Cameron in Calgary says, the best memory I have of Nick is 2014. After the ceremony at City Hall, you picked up the cup and walked away with the trophy by yourself.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I mean, I actually stood right outside of City Hall and took pictures for 45 minutes straight with people, right? So it was one of those things. I knew going into that game, it was my last game for the Stamps. I thought it was my last game ever. So it was really a surreal moment. I actually took the train by myself to that game, right? I didn't ride the team bus. I took the train down, walked over, remember just standing outside, just taking it all in. And, you know, after we won that, City Hall, yeah, it was a great time. Blast. We actually walked down 8th Ave in Calgary there, Stephen Ave, and we walked in quite a few bars. And, yeah, that Grey Cup got done well that day.
Trevor Tim in Red Deer says no. Well, first he says Calgary loves Matt Dunigan in all caps. That is a fact. And Trevor says nobody played the game like Nick. You are a true legend, sir. Best yak yards receiver in CFL history. Is that a fact?
I mean, it's all debatable, but
I feel like you invented the hurdling of guys. And you took a few in the region. Helmets in the region, didn't you?
No.
You never did?
No, never got caught.
I don't remember. I remember you starting it. You see a few guys doing it now.
You know, those guys prepare. Like, you can't prepare to jump. You just got to be ready to go. And I just prepare my body to get first downs and to get the job done. And whatever we did in the moment, I just allowed it to happen, right? So it's just like, don't think about it. Just go execute, whether it's try to make a guy miss, run through a guy, or go over him.
Brandon Bridge, Air Canada, did it one time.
But he takes like 4 steps before he tries to jump. Like, you see it.
He's 6'5". You're a little more to the ground.
Yes.
Yeah. Ward in Winnipeg says, good morning, guys. Sportsnet and Adam Schefter reporting Nathan Rourke will begin working out for numerous NFL teams. Wish him luck. Ward in the Peg. Do you think BC's losing last week in the semifinals and or division finals and his lack of moving the ball will hurt his status in the NFL?
Not at all. He's got a quick release. Just looking at playing on a smaller field like the NFL, everything's about timing, being able to execute and in short time periods and time frames and being able to really understand what's going on. You got to process really quickly. The CFL has a little bit more leeway because the field's bigger. You're throwing it into windows and not like inches away. So there's going to be some things that favor him, but also some things that might hinder him. But I definitely think he has a tool set to go to the NFL. Now, do you want to be a backup? Do you want a chance to start, or do you want to come back here and make some money?
I would like to point out that his little brother Curtis is on national television again. This kid's going to be a household name before he even goes pro. Curtis Rourke, Ohio Bobcats, playing tonight at Ball State, another Mid-American Conference game on a Tuesday night. I love them doing that. Bowling 100%. Greens at Toledo, too, by the way. Smart.
Hey, but Nathan's going to get paid either way it goes. But that's going to be, like, think about BC's roster. You pay Nathan Rourke, who's on a rookie contract. Now you have to pay him. That's 2 to 3 guys on that team, or possibly 1 or 2 receivers that won't be there. Or, I know Sook's one of your top-end, high-paid linemen, and you have other guys. So who are you getting rid of that's going to hinder the team to bring Nathan back? So when you look at the skill set of what he brings, it's going to be a lot less talent around him next year.
Jeff from Hamilton writes on the number you see on the screen, 902-518-3033. Jeff says, hey, Rod, I'm currently working in northern Alberta, not able to listen live as usual. I'd just like to point out that I predicted the Bo to Hamilton move a few months back on your show. LOL. Maybe I'm a medium. He says, a lot of people are pointing out that it's just the rights to negotiate first, but this isn't a move we'd make without the groundwork being in place first. Bo will be a Ticat next season, and I'm here for it. That's from Jeff from Hamilton. I need your take on that. You know Bo very well. What do you know about this trade that went down Monday, and how do you think it will go from here?
I mean, Bo openly said there was teams that contacted about the trade at the deadline, and I know Calgary, and Calgary's not going to trade their backup quarterback when they feel like they have a chance to win, right? And Bo was obviously a great option for them having a chance to win. But now that the season's over, they know they're not re-signing him. Darian got traded to Montreal, right, when he was leaving Riderville. It gives you a great chance to sign someone, but also Bo knows you got to pay me, right? You have to pay me. You've traded this away. Mm-hmm. You don't want this to end up with you not securing me as your quarterback for the next 2 to 3 years. So it's a little play on both sides. Bo's got some negotiating power now to really demand more money, but we'll see what happens.
Well, again, we covered this last hour a little bit with Darren. The Rider fans here still think, despite this trade, that they will sign Bo Levi Mitchell in Saskatchewan. Do you?
You know what? I think if you get Bo signed, you'll see him signed before the middle of January, possibly the end of the year. And if that's not the case, the closer it gets to to free agency, if Bo's not signed, I think something's wrong. But you have to understand that Hamilton traded for Bo with the expectation he's going to be the quarterback. So I don't think money's going to be an issue. Now, the more Bo gets, the less talent he's going to have around him. So he's going to have to make it look better. So he'll do what's best for him. But I really like Bo in the East, man. I just think that you look at it as, fans think they know about it. Coaches know. Let's go to the East. I got to beat Montreal, Ottawa, and Toronto to go to the Grey Cup. Or do I want to go through Sask, Calgary, BC, Winnipeg, and Edmonton to get there? That's a hard track. So, and I thought they had a lot of talent. They lost a lot of games late off turnovers. And I think Dane's not done. I think Dane can still be a really good quarterback. I think he just made some mistakes there.
Well, I hope people are listening to what Nick's saying, because what he's saying is these are all the considerations, not just Bo, but any free agent would look at.
100%.
Right? Yeah, it's not just about the check. It's about the city. It's the division, as you say, your teammates, all the rest. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, people on the RP show called me an idiot when I suggested the Stamps would trade his rights. Why would anyone trade for his rights when he's a free agent in February? I was told. I don't think I called you an idiot, Jeff. And if I did, I apologize. This is a very smart move by HOF to do this. Keeping
100%.
him away from Sask, too, if, you know.
Well, I mean, you're getting picks, and we all know the more Canadian talent that you have, the better chance you have of having a better team, right? It's harder to find greater Canadian talent. So if I have a chance to pick up a couple guys that can potentially, be special teams or a starter in 2 or 3 years, it works out great for him because Bo wasn't going to be there anyway.
Kevin, the medium, watching from Airdrie, goes, whoa, there's only room for one medium on the RP show. I got you, Kev. Don't worry. I knew that. It's unspoken. Back to the Rourke stuff, Curtis or Nathan. And I just saw the tweet here. I just did a little search. From Adam Schefter, the NFL #1 insider, BC Lions quarterback Nathan Rourke, who led the CFL this season in passer rating, is set to begin working out for NFL teams next week. The 6'2", 210-pounder from Ontario played collegiately at Ohio, had a record 78.7 completion percentage last season, and now as NFL visits lined up. That from Schefter, and it's his little brother Curtis tonight that's playing for Ohio. Where are you on the Rourke brothers? Are you watching the games with Curtis? They're saying he might be better.
Really?
He's sort of like 4 or 5 touchdowns a game. Yeah,
I've seen one highlight package where he threw like 5 or 6 touchdowns in a game, and seems like he's
lighting it up.
Great release, and I see he's already breaking Nathan's records.
That's right.
And things. So, congrats to them. I mean, as a family, to understand what you're both accomplishing, I'm pretty sure their parents are very happy.
Proud, yeah.
And but I would say probably about 20 to 40 guys try out for NFL teams every year. It doesn't always go, but you're going to give yourself the opportunity to go and see. Right. But I also know a lot of guys that don't get guaranteed money come back to Canada because there's already a fit.
From CD, he's a Ticats fan and clearly also a Denver Broncos fan. He says Denver could definitely use Nathan Rourke because Russell Wilson is a bust. What are the reasonable expectations for Nathan Rourke? Like, I think people think he's going to walk in and be the next Joe Montana, and I don't believe that's it. He's looking at being a second or third, is he not?
Well, I'll tell you this. NFL system. We've seen guys be able to win in systems and guys be able to not win in systems. It's more important for a quarterback to play in a system that fits his skill set, right? When you go from a West Coast offense reading one person, having to make quick reads, now you got to read 2 people throwing the ball 18, 20 yards down the field. It doesn't fit your skill set. You see him throwing into double coverage, throwing picks downfield. So there's a lot of things that go on from a quarterback's perspective on that's how crucial offensive coordinators are to working with quarterbacks. And you remember when Peyton Manning was a free agent, he went in and taught teams his offense. Like, I'm doing what I need to do to be successful. I can't just go and learn a different offense. You seen Tom Brady struggle when he went to Tampa at first. Right, until they started implementing more things that he did. Andy Reid implemented a lot of things that Pat Mahomes did in college to allow him to be comfortable and slowly integrate what he's doing. So it's definitely going to be the fit and the coordinator that makes him successful. I don't think it's really a team because every team's going to have talent.
Just trying to put a wrap on some of the comments from our viewers here. Randy from Winnipeg says, I've watched the last 2 Ohio games. Curtis Rourke looks real good. Al Broderick on YouTube says, can you imagine a Regina versus Saskatoon Grey Cup? Before I let you go, the reason he brings that up is Dunigan brought that up last hour. Because I'm for U.S. expansion for the CFL. I'm a lone voice in the wilderness on that. Dunigan says, I'd like to see more Canadian cities in the CFL, i.e. Saskatoon. He brought up Halifax. Why can't we have both? How about more Canadian
Quebec
teams?
City.
All of it. London, Ontario. Why not have that? But can we also please, I don't want to be cold. So I'd like to go to home games in the U.S. South where you're from and watch games down there. But do you think that a second team here could work in Saskatchewan? Because he brought up a Calgary-Edmonton thing. I think it could work.
I definitely think it could work. I mean, more and more people with gas prices going up, and we talk about inflations. Less people are traveling from Saskatoon and northern places to come here for games, and we know that this team is built around the whole province, right? So being able to split that up is not something bad. I mean, I know the Riders aren't going to love that because you're taking half their fan base, and then with the fan base that usually comes, do they switch, right? So it's
It would be hard.
Quebec City, I could see, right? Because Quebec City and Montreal, they don't like each other, right? So
Regina, Saskatoon would be hard.
It would be very hard.
It would be hard for the Saskatoon Rider fan. Viewer Jeff Gordon says, is the quarterback talent diminished next year? Free agent options are not that exciting as they used to be. Do you go with the guy you know or something new? But that's why I want more teams, more players, more jobs. You only got 9 teams. It seems very much like the 6-team NHL to me. Like how many, now with Bo going to Hamilton, you got Cody and who else? Like, you need more teams.
Yep. There's always fresh guys coming out. You just got to make sure it works, right? Like I always said, even with Fajardo, I just didn't feel like him and Moss were a fit. I didn't think. Definitely he shows he can win games. He's limited in some of the things that he does, but he still can win games. You just have to put the proper offense around him, and I just didn't think it was the proper offense for his skill set.
We only got about a minute or two left here, but with Fajardo, I was told by the insiders that Fajardo was going to Hamilton. I think Cody thought he was going to Hamilton, and now, nuh-uh. Well, Levi goes there, so if you're Cody, you're sitting there. You weren't on his train. Eddie Steele wasn't on his train bandwagon. There weren't too many that were on the Cody Fajardo bandwagon.
Yeah.
What do you think's next for him? He's playing somewhere.
I think that he's got a skill set, but is it in Ottawa? But you still have Masoli, right? But he hasn't been healthy. And I think that's a great fit for him because you're playing behind somebody that's not healthy, so you're going to have another chance. And but Cody's definitely got to play in an offense that fits his skill set better. And I just didn't think that was it. So I don't think it's Toronto. I don't think it's Montreal. But Ottawa could be a potential.
I guess that's why I heard it might have been for Bo, but that's not happening. Boy, it's got a lot of people talking about CFL expansion. They love the talk, as do I, but we can't get it right with 9 teams, let alone
let's get to 18, the 10th team.
Right. From Got Milt on YouTube says another team in BC would be nice. I couldn't agree more. Yeah. Oh, beautiful. That's a place I would go. Nick, enjoy the week for all that it is.
Yeah.
Thanks for all your help.
Thank you.
And we'll see you Friday night at the Twisted Tea Party. And the Moose will be in with us next to talk about all these things. It is the RP Show. We are live from Ballers Rec Room on Game Plus TV, your favorite podcast platform, and WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. So, hell yeah, Sunday. Awesome. Right on. I like it. Let's go.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of time. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. I gotta hit the beat. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Casino Fantasy.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might injure your knee, leading to a permanent disability. Take safer steps. Learn more at WorkSafeSask.ca.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Hot damn!
All right, we're back. I'm just tweeting something. Don't mind me. Guys, Darren would like a cheer. Can we put on the... Darren DuPont's here. All right. Rolf, can you put your hands together for Darren? Thank you, sir. Everybody else got it.
You don't get a walk on the stage, and
yeah,
I'm sitting there stuffing
Why are you all
VIP
red
things
now?
into an envelope.
You're doing all this is all
good
your
one, Rod.
right down your wheelhouse, right?
Of course it is.
You're the party guy.
Of course.
Take this
right?
over for a second and tell the viewers what we got going on. If they just tuned in on Game Plus or WQEE.
No, I was just going through the guest list and putting it together in a spreadsheet. And
big party here Friday night.
The toughest thing is trying to figure out how I'm going to contact all these people, because some are texting in, some are talking to so-and-so, but we've got the event happening. Twisted Tea's putting it on with Ballers, and we're working on that guest list. It's going to be outstanding. So Eventbrite is where you can buy the tickets to Twisted Tea's VIP Fan Mixer. That's what it's called. Get your tickets. They put a new ticket on, and they're going actually pretty quickly. 5 tickets for $200. So it's cheaper than the festival. It's the cheapest ticket. You're going to hang out with literally every athlete. We're texting right now to find out if Nathan Rourke's going to come to the party. Okay? So
we were just talking about him.
Hopefully that is something that will happen. We think it will. He's up for an award, so he'll be in town. That's the party, right? So it's going to be awesome. Get your
This is a very, very special week. So I say, yeah, we got a lot of numbers of people listening and watching in the United States, but they're big football fans down there. This is the Canadian Football Championship. It's Canada's Super Bowl, and we're right in the heart of the action. Kevin the Medium's watching, and I don't know how he noticed, but he goes, no socks, Moose? That's got to be cold.
Never.
No, he doesn't. I guess that's a new thing that you didn't know, Kevin. It's not new to Moose, but it's new to him.
Yeah. Even when it gets cold, I'll put on boots, but I won't put on socks. I just don't wear them.
And just for the sales component, Darren just said it, but it's what are we calling the party? I don't even know what we're allowed to call the party. What
Twisted Tea's VIP Fan Mixer. It's the Grey Cup party. The Grey Cup will be in this building, and they've invited us, so we've got tickets. We'll be at the party. It's going to be outstanding. So red carpet. They've showed me the red carpet. All the stuff that's going to be around. Champagne service is going to be happening.
There's no better party than this. You also know that. Not only
that's right
that night, but all week. So we now have John Chick, Danny McManus. You know the list better than me. Paul McCallum, All Hall of Famers. Well, Nick Lewis, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Andy Fantuz is coming back.
The twos. This is where the guys are going to be. This is where you want to be. So eventbrite.com. I've done it. Go search Grey Cup. It's on the list of events. Buy your tickets. And I'll be here. Moose will be here. It's the biggest party.
Yeah.
Of this
Absolutely.
week. Now, if you want to talk about anything else, that's why I brought you in here now. 902-518-3033. Everybody in Canada is all, well, I feel, geeked up for the Canadian Football League Championship. But there are other things going on, and sometimes you get into a little bit of a vacuum and don't realize it. So whether it be YouTube or the text line, the chat, you tell me what you'd like to discuss. NHL tonight. Now would be a good time to get into it. I got 9 solid games in the National Hockey League, Moose, and I think the Leafs are playing. They are. They're at the Pittsburgh Penguins. We covered this a little bit in the warm-up in terms of U.S. Thanksgiving is next week, and I say, courtesy Peter Labardius, that's the cutoff line where you know who you are. I think we're figuring out who the Ottawa Senators are.
Yes.
Right? I think we're starting to figure out who some of these teams, I think we're realizing the Vegas Golden Knights are going to be really good.
Yeah.
Probably the rest of the way. Do we know what the Leafs are?
No, we don't. We're still trying to figure that out, so we're getting close.
When's the last time we knew what the Leafs were?
I know. I mean, we know they're a good hockey team, so I think there's that. That's fine. But, is this a team that can get over the hump and win a playoff round and win a Stanley Cup? We don't know. We won't know that till the spring. I think we know they're a good team. The Flames are another one, right? If you say they're not in a playoff spot as of right now or going into last night's game, are they a playoff? I think we know the Flames are a playoff team, but what are they? Are they a group that's going to gel together and be a top team in the National Hockey League? I'm not sure. The Edmonton Oilers. Do we know what the Oilers are? I mean, they're up and down. Right now, they're really low on Jack Campbell and the defensive group as a whole. They don't have a number one defenseman that's stepped up. Darnell Nurse is underperforming. You've got Oiler fans that are upset. So the Oiler fans are sitting there. What are we? We're supposed to be a team finishing first, maybe challenging for a President's Trophy, not being a team struggling to find a playoff spot. So those are two teams that we don't know what they are yet either. And if it's Thanksgiving in the U.S., we got about a week to find out.
Peter's an astute man. And all this time that I've spent in Calgary, I listened to him a lot on the radio. And I'm like, because I know the deal, particularly in hockey. I'm like, he knows. But a lot of times I listen to these analysts and go, he doesn't know. Bink. Change the station. There's a lot of those people too.
Right.
Like there's a heck of a lot of those. And by the way, our viewers writing in with their questions on this, and I appreciate that. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, have the Flames turned it around from T-Will and Winnipeg? Are we figuring out who the Winnipeg Jets are? Pause that for a second. For those that weren't starting at the start or watching at the start, I was with John Frenzy last night. And he's like, have you checked the Flames? Have you looked at the Flames? They're not in a playoff spot. I'm like, I haven't even thought about looking at the records, the standings. I don't know. Sports is a wonderful microcosm of life. Now, a lot of people are looking around, seeing what everybody else has. The big house, the big cars, the big this, the shiny watch. I don't.
Yeah.
Let's add it up at the end. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, stay in your lane. That's why horse races have blinders on. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Be the best you. And I used to think like Lynch. The sad thing is he's 85 now. I don't think he's changing now.
No.
But I've realized through my own life experiences and being around enough championship coaches, they're not looking at the standings now. Daryl Sutter's not looking at the standings. He's trying to figure out what's wrong with the Calgary Flames, and he will figure it out. Jeff, the Stamps fan, asking, has he figured it out? It's going to depend on a few things. Jacob Markstrom, obviously. The talent is there.
Yeah.
Now with the Winnipeg Jets, thank you, T-Will. We've got so many viewers and listeners in Winnipeg. And Atlanta's former team is the Thrashers that have gone to the Winnipeg Jets. I'm watching them the other night. You were with me in September when we were reading, I think, a preseason summary on the air of the Jets. And I'm like, they got some really good players there. So now they're the number one team in the Central. They're way above 500. But we got to pump the brakes on that too. And we can't give Rick Bowness Coach of the Year right now, Darren, or Connor Hellebuck the Vezina. They all want to.
Yeah.
They're talking about the parade route. Somebody wrote in here earlier and said, where's the parade route going to be for the Stanley Cup in Winnipeg? And I'm like, that's what befell Flames fans last year in February. Remember? I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
Guy on the radio said, who is Gary Bettman going to hand the Stanley Cup to when the Flames win the Stanley Cup? They don't have a captain. I think other people can be corrected of that thinking because I was. But they got to want to change.
They got to want to change before they're going to change. It's funny. Like, and Jets fans, interesting. It's same with the Flames. Like, the question comes in, has he fixed them? Because of one win?
Yeah.
One win is not a trend or a reason to think that everything is fixed. It gets you some sleep at night for one night. If this turns into 2 or 3 wins, 3 or 4 wins, 8 out of 9, then we can say, okay, it looks like they're back on track. And same thing in Winnipeg, right? I mean, Winnipeg, though, we said it at the beginning of the year, and you said it, I mean, I can visualize the clip. I wasn't watching it that long ago with you and Hustler. I think the Winnipeg Jets could be for real. They've got a lot of talent here. They could surprise some people, right? They do have a lot of talent, and they're putting it all together, and Rick Bowness seems to be pressing the right buttons. You can't give him the coach of the year, but he's on pace for it. And so I think in Winnipeg, you can kind of start to accept that we're a good hockey team, and we should be in the playoffs. Now, don't think you're going to win anything yet, but this is a good team.
Let's wait until we've carved the turkey next Thursday, and then we'll decide.
Yes.
I guess we can start handing out the Stanley Cup and various trophies.
Yeah.
By the end of November.
Sure.
Because they would love to in Winnipeg.
Hell of a show next Thursday it's going to be.
Yeah, T-Will says Gary would hand it to Hellebuck because the Jets don't have a captain either. Here's my last point on that. We can continue it after the break, but I don't believe the problems that were in that Jets room have been dealt with yet. By the way, Rick Bowness has only coached half the games, too. Let's not forget he's had COVID for half the year. So I'm not signing off on the Winnipeg Jets yet, but they're a very good team, and they're working hard. So let's just be happy with it. And more than anything, enjoy the ride. Overtime is next. We have a very important question from the Greek Freak.
Okay.
From the Four Seasons that we'll get to next. It is the RP Show. And we are on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Your family needs a break. Delta Hotels Saskatoon welcomes you to our newly renovated hotel and water park. You deserve a vacation close to home. Enjoy world-class hospitality and upscale surroundings. Rediscover Saskatoon. You can enjoy time away from home right in your own city. The kids will love the water slide. Delta Hotels Saskatoon downtown. All the essentials and then some.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
All right, it is the overtime segment of the program, and I know that we've got our friends down here at the Four Seasons watching. Georgie Nitsos has texted us, Moose, from the Four Seasons. Here's his message for you. You're home for the UFC and the National Football League. No cover ever at the Four Seasons Sports Palace coming up Wednesday. Wings and Things, our fabulous wings on special. A comedian, because we have to laugh at this season, says George. Music and CFL/Rider trivia. I feel like I could take a real bite out of that.
Oh, yeah.
He says Thursday, NFL, NHL night, plus our awesome boneless dry ribs on special. Heck, you can even put ketchup on them if you want. Tennessee at Green Bay, plus Jets, Leafs, Flames, Habs, even Vegas Golden Knights and Kraken, all on our huge video wall. Those are some of the things going on at the Four Seasons Sports Palace. He was so upset yesterday that I doused my boneless Greek ribs in ketchup.
No.
Yeah. Do we have moose? Are we putting moose up?
Yeah.
Oh,
there we go.
No.
And the sockless Darren Dupont. I said, I've been coming here for 25 years and putting ketchup on the boneless dry ribs. This is news to you?
Take.
He was insulted.
Not paying attention to the details.
Yeah, wake up. Wakey. Smell the coffee.
You know what?
As you Greeks say.
You enjoy it however you want to enjoy it. Isn't that what it's all about?
I was going to say, I'm paying for it, aren't I?
Yeah.
But he paid for it. So.
Oh,
Anyways,
no.
He thought that should be the poll question today.
Ketchup on the ribs.
Ketchup or no ketchup on the boneless Greek ribs. I put it on my steak at the keg. I don't care. I'm paying for it. Am I in the wrongers?
Nobody's in the wrong. The ketchup on the steak. But you eat, a well-done steak.
I put ketchup on everything.
Ketchup on it, yeah.
I put it on everything.
Oh,
now. Oh, thanks, guys. They're hitting the Rick Regans. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Man, these are the best shows that we do. Who is the Riders' all-time leading tackler? We don't have that stat. I'll say Dan Rash. You can't look it up. I don't even know who it is.
I don't know if you can.
Try another one. Jeff the Stamps fan. I have every other record memorized right here. Todd Pinkney says, mustard on the Greek ribs is awesome. From Jennifer at the Four Seasons, she says, LOL, a Diet Coke, a pound of ribs, and a bottle of ketchup. More like a pound of ketchup and a basket of ribs.
She knows.
Yeah, she wasn't there yesterday. As they reminded me, she didn't work till Monday night. Anyways, staying on the CFL vein, apparently Bo Levi Mitchell on the Barn Burner podcast, which I thought was only for Flames talk, said that doesn't matter what Hamilton offers, he's going to free agency in February. You have thoughts on that?
Spicy. That's smart. Why wouldn't you? I mean, that shouldn't be news. That shouldn't be a big deal. You know, you look at it for Bo, it's like, look, I can sign here with Hamilton, or I can wait 10 days, 2 weeks, 3 months, whatever. Still sign with Hamilton after seeing what else is on the table. It's also going to drive up value.
It's a business decision.
It's a business decision. So if Bo's negotiating with the Ticats and they don't want him to get to free agencies, they're going to have to pay more. They're going to have to overpay. They're going to have to overpay to avoid him from getting other offers. And then all of a sudden, if Saskatchewan or Ottawa put an offer on the table, now Hamilton is at the mercy of whatever offer they come up with. Whatever number that is, they have to match it. And Bo has all the power in this. He's got all the leverage in this situation. So why not use it? You're not going to buy the first thing in the store without seeing everything else. You might still want the product, but you're going to shop around. So why not?
From WQEE.
All right.
Ryan O'Radio, my spirit brother from Georgia. He writes it. He says, this has been another great show, RP and Top Gun. Thank you. And I appreciate you enjoying the football talk, the CFL talk. But again, we're all ballers. We're at ballers. And we talk about Matt Dunigan, the Valdosta Peach. That was his nickname, man. You can see how I can tie everything in. You know that I can do that. That's one of my few talents. I can find a way. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, who's the Riders' leader in all-time games played? Gene Mikowski. Reminds me of that City Slickers episode. Those two guys, Ben and Jerry.
Yeah.
Don't waste my time. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who was the all-time leading third baseman, played most games for the Pittsburgh Pirates? Roberto Clemente. Don't waste my time. Keep them coming. Come on. I feel like I'm in a cage of batters.
Yeah, exactly. Ballers.
Bring them. Ballers. Yeah, here.
Bang.
Batters.
Which I've been told that they may keep the batting cage open Friday night.
Why wouldn't they?
So I wonder.
That could get fun around midnight.
I wonder if Zani's going to get in there and hit a few.
How about that?
Do you want to be the pitcher or the catcher or the batter in that scenario?
I feel like I'd want to throw a couple, let him be the catcher, right? But I think I would. I'll take the photos. Okay, on the other side of the fence, I'll take the photos.
Everything's coming back again to roost. Wonderful chat today with Nick Lewis, obviously. If I may, an even more wonderful chat with Matt Dunigan, because we talked a lot about life. He went deep on the whole Georgia thing and the Florida thing, and he's like, man, you earned it, man. It's all coming back to you. A life of hard work. I'm like, thank you, Matt. It's nice to hear that.
Yeah.
Especially from a Hall of Famer like Matt Dunigan. Last minute of play
and
in the RP show today.
If you get the chance to email with Matt Dunigan or text with Matt Dunigan, he ends every text to you or email with ready, break. Everyone.
I didn't know that.
It's so great. It's so awesome. So
coolest one I've ever had. Roger Aldag ends all his emails with 44. Because there's only one.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
WHL tonight, by the way, the Moose Jaw Warriors, home to PA. I love the fact they've shut everything down in Regina for the Grey Cup. Not a Moose Jaw. Warriors home tonight. We're good. Brandon at Swift Current, Red Deer at Edmonton, Calgary at Portland. As I said, Curtis Rourke, Nathan's little brother, on national television tonight with the Ohio Bobcats at Ball State as the Mid-American Conference continues to play Tuesday night games. I tossed my pen already, so forget about that. The Raptors and the Hawks are off. So we'll be talking more CFL tomorrow. See you at noon Eastern here on Game Plus TV. Rolf.
Who has more fun than us?
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. I like it. Oh, good one, Rod. Bob's your uncle. How about that? Done deal.